Hypothesis in Canvas. Let's learn about this tool for collaborative reading for understanding. Do you remember the good old days when we used to sit around together with students in the classroom and discuss the readings and the assignments and really dig deep into it? You know, the good old days a few months ago? Well, we've lost some of that, but Hypothesis is a tool to help us rebuild some of that social collaboration while everybody learns. Annotation itself is as old as books. We can find ancient books with notes in the margins from one person or groups of people having conversations about the text. So annotation itself is not new. But how do you annotate as a group if you can't pass the book around or if you're not together? Well, we can do that now online. In Canvas, Hypothesis allows you to have two layers of annotation. One layer that's private, that is the My Notes that only you will see, and then the other layer that is public in your course. How does it work for teaching and learning? Well, Hypothesis makes reading active. As your students and you read through material and you mark it, whether it's an article or a website, whatever it is, you can mark it and then you can make your comments on it over here in the annotation pane. As you see, you can include photos, you can include links to other websites, links to videos, you can include text, so you can have a really thorough annotation there. But moreover, you can also reply and have conversations. Hypothesis makes reading visible. You can see what your students are understanding. Imagine if you're working together through some kind of research document and you and your students can assess it together. Are the sources valid? Are the assumptions good? Have the statistics been processed correctly? You can do all of that through visible annotation. And of course, it's social. I like what this person says. Hypothesis is my literary Facebook. Does anybody else understand this? Am I the only one that can't figure out what it means? Online, as much as with a physical book, online a book can be a gathering place, a shared space where readers record their reactions and have conversations, social reading. The way you do it is you select text just the same way you select text at any time. Just drag your mouse over it, and then you can annotate. You can reply to or share any annotation. In your courses, you can annotate together in groups, and you can always search the annotations. Well, in Canvas, if you pull in a PDF or a web page, whatever it happens to be, into an hypothesis-enabled module or assignment, then you will have the annotations panel open up on the right, which, by the way, can be collapsed if you want it out of your way. And you can write your response there on anything that you have annotated. So students are signed in automatically. They don't have to create accounts. And every course is its own private groups. So they don't have to worry about people outside their course reading what they've annotated. You can also grade very easily in SpeedGrader. Set up your assignment as always, and when you go to grade this hypothesis-enabled assignment, you'll see the reading or the web page on the left with that individual student's highlights indicating their annotations. You can choose each student, just as you do now in SpeedGrader, and see all of their annotations. You can give them a grade, or if you just want to see their thinking, you can make it 0 points or complete, incomplete. You can give comments, audio or video, same way you always use SpeedGrader, but you can also reply to their individual annotations if you wanted to make a comment about that. So it's a very good learning tool for the students and enables you to give some good substantive feedback. Let's think about 6 ways you could use this tool. First of all, remember when you're using it, it's not about annotation as an end in itself. It's about community. Why? Because online, one of our primary responsibilities as instructors is to build a learning community. It's the community that supports the individual students to get them through the harder parts of the course, to get them to just persevere through a full semester. So annotating together helps build learning community. It's not the only way, but it's one good way to help build community. A specific idea you might want to consider is to invite your students to annotate your syllabus. Make sure they understand the assignments, but I would say take a bigger picture beyond assignments and make sure they understand your course objectives. You could ask each person to choose a couple of objectives and say why they think that's important. You know, that helps them get the big picture of the course and the assignments before you even begin. You don't have to worry about grading everything. You can just put your readings in the course and make them annotation enabled. Turn it on, give them some basic guidance, which we can help you with, and see how they make use of the digital margins. Let them have at it. Or you could annotate the text yourself. Let's say it was pretty difficult reading, and so you went through it and annotated it and shared that document with your annotations and then had your students read it. They would not only learn from you about that text, they would see you modeling what good annotation is. That can prepare them for the next dense or difficult reading that they work on their own first. You can have seminar-style discussions online. Your students can read the text together and annotate it ahead of time, and then you could come together if you want, live through Zoom or again through the discussion, however you wanted to, and talk about those annotations. Or you could post your lecture, your PowerPoint, your PDF, whatever it is, and have students annotate your lecture. You'll see where they're confused. They can ask you questions. And you might get some feedback. I love this. You might get some feedback on how to improve your teaching materials. That's when a collaborative learning community is really thriving. Well, we're part of a pilot program with Hypothesis, and we're in very good company from huge schools like University of Chicago, Princeton, even seminaries like Denver Seminary. So we're in good company in this pilot. What we get during our free pilot year is an extensive and growing knowledge base for technical support. And notice this, we get Tier 1 support for instructors and staff. So make note of support at hypothesis.is. That's where you would email any technical support questions, which would be escalated to their engineers. So this pilot program, they're taking very seriously. You get pedagogical support through the materials, the guides, one-on-one instructional design consultations, and webinars such as we recently had, and we'll have more. And you can have regular group calls, those who are participating in the pilot, with the success team. Erin Barker is our account rep, and you can email her anytime as well. How might you use collaborative annotation to deepen your students' learning, to build them more together into a learning community, and to help them succeed in their critical thinking and engagement with your course? These resources are available in the MBU Online Canvas course site.